Anagashadvala kanana sampada nadanadi hlada nirjara shalina bahu pashuhu pashupalaka samtatir mahibhritahi bhritana marutvata. So he says, for us, the cows that give us abundant wealth, because it gives us milk. Milk becomes curd. From that comes butter. From that comes ghee. Extra. Now we have cheese also. We can include that also in that category. Nada, nadi, hlada. Now where do we get that milk from? Cows. How will cows give milk? They give milk, sir. Why are you worried? They need some nutrition. What will they eat? Pasta. What will they eat? Grass. So grass comes from the slopes of Govardhanam. So Govardhanam's grass is what all these cows feed upon. So the end of it, that grass becomes responsible for them giving so much good milk. So in a way, Govardhanam is the one that needs to be worshipped by us. What is Govardhanam? A mountain. What does the mountain give rise to? Streams. What do those streams become? Rivers. What rivers are they? Nada, nadi, he says. See, in Sanskritam, generally Shastram says any river that goes eastward is extremely pious. Ganga, Yamuna, Mahanadi, Krishna Vena, Tungabhadra, Godavari, Kaveri, Tamraparni. These are all east flowing rivers in India. East flowing rivers are extremely pious. So east flowing rivers are called Nadi. West flowing rivers are good, but not as pious as east flowing rivers. They are called Nada. So rivers like Narmada, rivers like Tapti, rivers like Sharavati, rivers like Periyar, the name says. So they are all west flowing. So they are less pious. Rivers that flow northward are as pious as the rivers that go eastward. Nile is a north flowing river. It goes north. So the land below, from where it emerges, must be a high raised land. That is why it is able to float towards Alexandria and then go into the Mediterranean. So when we look at rivers, he says, Nada Nadi Klada Nirjara Shalina. This mountain gives rise to such rivers, since we are talking about rivers. Most long, perennial, large rivers in the world will have influx or origin in snow-capped mountains. Ganga, large river. Brahmaputra, large river. Mekong, large river that flows into some parts of Thailand, large parts of Cambodia, then finally goes into Vietnam and then meets the sea, Mekong. Then Yangtze, Huanghu. These are all rivers that will find their source in the Tibetan plateau. Somewhere there will be snow-capped mountains. One of the perennial long rivers of the world that emerges from an equatorial region is Nile. It doesn't have an origin in the snow-capped mountains. It emerges from the equatorial region. Because that part of the equatorial region, let's take Kenya, has a mountain which has snow-capped at the top. It is called Mount Kenya. So on the equator is a peak with snow at the top. But that snow-capped mountain is not responsible for this river. I'm telling you, Africa has a lot of things that are very unique. Now let's keep that aside. He says, Nada nadi hlada nirjara shalina bahu pashuhu pashupalaka samtatir mahibhritahi bhritana marutvata. Can all of you see something in these shlokas? I'll read out this line. Anagashadvala kanana sampada nada nadi hlada nirjara shalina bahu pashuhu pashupalaka santatir bahu pashuhu Pashupalaka santatir mahibhritahi bhritana marutvata. What is it called? In Sanskritam, the word gets repeated. I will tell you one shloka. Mrudu hridaye daye. Mriditaka mahite mahite. Dridha vibudhe budhe. Shu. Vidhatat madhure madhure. Vrishagiri sarva bhauma daite. Maite mahatim. Bhavuka nidhe nidhehi bhavamu laharam laharim. Have you heard of this shloka? What is this repetition of the word, but it won't mean the same? The alankaram is an overall shastram to understand how the verses work. What alankaram is this?
Some dosha. It repeats twice.
What is it? No, correct. Very good. It's called yamakam. This style is called yamakam in Sanskritam. Now in yamakam, you can have the entire verse of 4 padas in yamakam. Or you could have the first and the third in yamakam. Second and the fourth in yamakam. So this is called yamaka paddhati. It's a very interesting paddhati. I told you in the 6th sarga, Vedanta Desika will showcase himself as the lion amongst poets. Slowly he is developing. You will see one verse after the other. Achalam, since I have told you the greatness of him being the poet, I thought I will give you one example. This is just an understanding. It will come later, but since I have said he's a lion amongst poets, if you have a pen or if you have a mobile, you can just note down on a WhatsApp or something. Let's try it out now. You can write it in your own language if you're happy in Tamil, or if you're good in Sanskritam, or if you can write it in Roman script also, English script also you can write. The first part I'm going to tell you. So the first line should have 8 aksharas. Na, di, sa, ra. Sa, me, ta, tra. 8 aksharas. Na, di, sa, ra. Sa, me, ta, tra. So from left to right, you would have written the 8 aksharas. You would have got 8 now. Na, di, sa, ra, sa, me, ta, tra. Second line. Deep, ta, bha, sa. Na, ra, vr, ta. Deep, ta, bha, sa. Na, ra, vr, ta. Third line. Sa, bha, na, sau. Ma, bhi, ra, me. Sa, bha, na, sau. Ma, bhi, ra, me. Last line. Ra, sa, sau, mya. Ra, sa, sau, mya. Su, ma, na, sa. Su, ma, na, sa. I will repeat the lines first. Na, di, sa, ra, sa, me, ta, tra. Second line. Deepta, bha, sa, na, ra, vrita. Third line. Sa, bha, na, sau, ma, bhi, ra, me. Fourth line. Ya, ra, sa, sau, mya, su, ma, na, sa. Each line 8 aksharas. So 8 by 4. Now read the first column. First column you have to read. Na, di, sa, ra. Read the last column in the reverse. Sa, me, ta, tra. So first column from the top. Na, di, sa, ra. Last column. Sa, me, ta, tra. Now read the second column. Deepta, bha, sa. Read the last column in the reverse. Na, ra, vrita. Read the third column from the top. Sa, bha, na, sau. Read the 6th column from the bottom. Ma, bhi, ra, me. Now read the 4th column. Ra, sa, sau, mya. Read the 5th column. Su, ma, na, sa. So, if you read from left to right and then do the reverse from it, this is called as Ardha Brahmarakam in Alankara Shastram. First line. Maya Bhasa Sabhayama. First line. Maya bhasa sabhayama. Easy. Mirror. You have to reverse. Second line. Yasutaya yatasuya. Yasutaya yatasuya. Third line. Bhatayaya yaya tabha. Bhatayaya yaya tabha. Saya yage. Saya yage. Tell me the reverse. Geya yasa. Correct? Now there should be, this is Sarvato Bhadram. Now what you have to do is, you have to read the first column. Maya Ba Sa. Now read the last column in the reverse. Now so the first lines, first padas, first half's mirror image is the second part. The same line will come in the reverse as well when you read from the column. This is called Sarvato Bhadram in the Darpana format, in the mirror format. That's one. Now, this is another shloka. Naya 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 naya. Such a easy shloka. Right. Yana 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 yana. So in this, there are two lotuses you have to create. First, you have to create na as this first aksharam. So the petal will be ya. So naya, naya, naya. Correct. So you have got totally 32 aksharas, of which you will get 16 different petals, one as a common petal. Correct. So it is Shodashadala Padmam. Na is the common. Now if you keep ya as the common, it is yana, 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 yana. So you can create two lotuses. Fine, sir. Arrangement is fine. How do we understand the meaning? Naya, 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 naya. What is the meaning? So the commentator writes, Nayaha, anayaha, naya nayaha, ayaha, anayaha, ayanayaha, ayanayanaya, anaya, naya, anaya, anayan, ayan, ayayana, yanayananaya, evam yojana, anayan, ayan, sanne, ayanayanayanaya, ayanayanaya, anaya, nayayan, ayayanyanscha, naya anaya cheti, nayan, ayayanscha, anaya, anayan, anayanscha, nayeti, yatharham anvayaha. So he says, to the one who has created the mountains, to the one whose form of Indra has cut the wings while he was Indra, and the one who sent the message through Hanuman, all this is there in this Naya. See how you have to interpret that line. Itself is an art. So I do not know whether to appreciate Vedanta Desika who wrote the line, or Appaya Dikshita who has been able to decipher what he has said. So this entire Paddhati or Sarga is like that. Now I'll go back to the verse. So we have just started that Alankaram. So we have touched Yamakam here. Now in which shloka was I? Now, then he goes to the, he says, Achala marchata kim vibudhais chalaihi shubhavanam bhavanam hi divaukasam. See, there is another way you will have to work on this Yamakam. Now, where was Sita in Sundarakandam? Ashokavanam. Since Sita was in Ashokavanam, where was Rama? In Shokavanam. Correct. When the two of them are as such subjected to troubles. It is kavanam. Kavanam. Okay, kavanam is that shoka. So, while Sita was in Ashokavanam, Rama was in Shokavanam, and both were in Kavanam. And there was only Vanam in their eyes. What is Vanam? Water. Remember, Vanam is water. That is why lotus that emerges from water is called Vanaja. So we say Vanaja mami na. Vanaja is born from the waters. Water is called Vanam. So they had Vanam in their eyes because they underwent Shokam, Kavanam. While Rama was in Shokavanam and Sita was in Ashokavanam. Now you are able to understand, if H, habit is so much with us, we are used to, we say, right, why doesn't that person stop talking? It is his habit. Habit won't go away that fast, right? I keep talking. Right? Somebody will be, so if you take H from a habit, what will remain? A bit remains. If you take A from a bit, what remains? Bit remains. If you take B from bit, it remains. Correct? It, bit, a bit, habit. Right? Vam, Vaibhavam, Yoga Vaibhavam, Raja Yoga Vaibhavam, Agaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Tyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam. Have you heard of this Dikshitar's thing? Tyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Agaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Raja Yoga Vaibhavam, Yoga Vaibhavam, Vaibhavam, Bhavam, Vam, it, bit, abit, habit, Vanam, Kavanam, Shokavanam, Ashokavanam. Similarly, Vedanta Desika uses this Yamaka Paddhati in this poetry. So, see, to appreciate poetry, we must develop that art. See, poetry is so beautiful. I'm sure a lot of you elderly people, during your days, you would still remember Solitary Reaper, The Road Not Taken, The Patriot. Then you had The Cup of Joy. Have you heard of the poem called The Cup of Joy? It's a beautiful poem. Robert Browning, William Wordsworth, so many. But today you don't have to remember because AI will give us. The next question is, why should I remember? AI will remember. Finally, that will go for Moksha. Because we don't remember anything. Artificial intelligence will get Purna Brahmanandam. We don't know anything. Only if you know Brahman, you will get Moksham. Brahmavit apnoti param. You don't have to know Brahman. You can ask AI. AI, ask Perplexity, Arvind Srinivas, tell me. Then he will tell you. So, appreciating poetry is an art. So, why am I telling so much about poetry is all these poems should not die in a few more decades. We should continue that tradition. We should be able to appreciate poetry. Otherwise, religious lectures are always of the either one format of telling you what is the prayashchittam. Do this, your child will have one child. Do this, your son will pass that exam. Then only these lectures sell. We are not into describing our poetic genius of our acharyas. We are more into telling, if you read this, you will get that. You will do this, you will get that job. Your prices will go high. Immediately, I will have 1 lakh people. All the cruises will be mine. If I tell that the next day, ये स्वामी जी जो बोले हैं ना, बहुत प्रेडिक्ट करते हैं, बहुत अच्छा होता है. हमें एक मंत्र बोले थे स्वामी जी, मेरे बेटे को काम मिल गया. So that is the trend of Sanatana Dharma today. If a person gives lectures, he has to do prayashchittam. He has to tell something. ये करो, वो करो, 200 Badushas distribute करो. அதுக்காகவே நம்ம பண்ணோம் 200. What will you do? You're increasing the HbA1c of the other person. That's all you're doing by distributing Badusha. So this is one. Second level, how to become successful. First, I have to become a cult. Correct. Now my t-shirts have to sell. Right. My photo will be on the mug. Every time you drink coffee, you have to see my face. Right. I have to add few more titles before my name. I have to set up an ashramam. This is the other trend in Sanatana. My point is, Sanatana Dharma is never a cult-based religion. Why are we making it a cult today? Slowly my photo will come below Bhagavan in the puja room. Next, slowly it will be next to Bhagavan. Slowly it will take the upper position. This is called cult, which I am... See, this is my humble opinion. You can differ. My personal opinion is we were never a cult-based religion. We are always a religion that believes in Bhagavan. The Guru guides us to Bhagavan. We respect the Guru. That's all. Guru, at the end of the day, Moksha Data is Bhagavan. The one who is born amidst us can never give moksha. The one who is unborn can only give us moksha. If we understand this basic philosophy, we will respect everyone. The moment we become weak, we will succumb to these cult personalities, which is very harmful for the religion, because that cult will buy one island and go. Then what will we do? Right? We will be left with nowhere to go. So it is better we follow a traditional paddhati. How much ever problems physically, financially, professionally we undergo, we should have the maturity. That is where Gita will help you. If that Gita is not serving you, giving you that maturity, then nothing can give you. So my whole point is, a lecture, don't come with your preset mind. Lecture na varedo nalladala solluvar saami edo sollum adalaam note pannikkalam. Idha paarenga, indha velakku vandu neenga 4 velakku east pakkama ஏத்தி வெச்சிருங்க. அது வீட்ல ஏத்தி வெச்சிட்டீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு வீட்ல வந்து நல்ல பிரச்சனைகள்லாம் போய்டும். அதை முடிச்சிட்டு நீங்க வாங்க, ஃப்ரெஷன் அப் ஆயிட்டு வாங்க. அது முடிச்சிட்டு என்ன இது, then where are we taking velakku ஏத்தி வெச்சி? We have to light lamp before Bhagavan, because that is our sampradayam. Not with the thing that you will get a job. See, first you have to develop your skill set for that. You have to clear your interview well. Right, இதை ஏத்திருங்க. இந்த பூஜை நீங்க செஞ்சீங்கன்னா பாத்துருங்க, 11 நாள்ல நடக்குதா இல்லையா பாருங்க. இது எங்க போய் முடியாது. So we have become that. People ask me, sir, நீங்க ஏதாவது சொல்லிடுங்க சார், பாய்ச்சிட்டு சொல்லிடுங்க. Now what will I tell? See, won't they come and question me back 11 days later that they didn't get a job? What will I do? I will lose my job. Right. So my humble request to all of you is, never become prey to personality cults. Always be a person who recites. If your grandfather has been reciting Ramayanam, recite. If they were reciting Bhagavan Nama, recite. All this will make you more mature. It will not drive away the problems. If Shankara had to drive away, he could have lived 100 years. He died at 32. Ramanuja left Srirangam because of a Chola Raja. Vedanta Desika had to sleep amidst corpses. If they have undergone problems, who are we? So, okay, now let me come back to the poetry. Why did I start? Because you have to appreciate poetry. When you sit for a lecture, you should give some work to your brain. It cannot be one simple thing. அப்படின்னு வந்தாளாம், இதை கேட்டுட்டு ருக்மிணி பார்த்தாளாம், அதை ஓடி போனாளாம். We are fully of the cinematic approach. We have become a cinema today. Right. First, let's appreciate poetry. Some parts of the lecture will be new to you, but learn. See, it's a learning process for all of us, right? We have to appreciate poetry. Next, when you head back home, download Yaadavaabhyudayam. Check which verse did he say. See, there will be one more. It is called Mudrika. There is one place where Vedanta Desika has added his mudra. Let me see if that will come tomorrow morning. I will explain that particular verse. It's a beautiful verse. You will appreciate. When you share this information with your children, trust me, they'll say, oh, what intellectual stuff my parents are listening to. That's where they will appreciate. It will not take us anywhere. See, it will not take us anywhere. It will just make us a commercial person in Sanatana Dharma. I have lit 4 lamps, give me job. I have broken 300 coconuts, give me one grandson. See, where are we heading as a religion? Did 100 years back, did our ancestors have so much money to buy 1,000 coconuts? 2,000 liters of milk? Why? So let's all become very simple. Let us be very realistic. Let us become very mature. Wisdom is extremely important. That is why Shankara wrote this work called Viveka Chudamani. Viveka, you need wisdom. What will we do with all these basic mundane things? For we saw, now what has happened is we saw Balaji. What do I do? Huh? What do I do? See, Balaji will give us moksham. He says, Mamekam sharanam braja aham tva sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami. That Bhagavan who gives us moksham, we are asking for petty things. One person says, don't come to my country. We don't want to give visa. To get that visa, we are going around Balaji. What do we do? Right? See, agree that we have, but there is something that we should ask, something higher from Bhagavan, right? Karpaka vrikshattinidam sendru kaupiyam ketpado says, see, Karpaka vriksham is ready to do anything. There is one beautiful anecdote. There is one place called Shirgali. It is called Tirunangur Divyadesham in Tamil Nadu. If you all happen to visit Tamil Nadu, please go. 11 Divyadeshams around that have been celebrated by a prolific poet called Nalukavi Perumal Tirumangayalvar. But only one temple will host the rest of the Divyadeshams Perumal. It is called Tirunangur Garudotsavam. So all Bhagavans will come on their Garuda Vahanam and they will be standing, and Tirumangayalvar, one of the mystic saints in the Tamil tradition, will do Mangalashasanam to all the Bhagavans. There used to live a great Acharya called Tirukudandai Andavan in the Vaishnava Sampradaya. He used to say that there was one Vaishnava in that village, that hamlet, who happened to visit that Brahmotsavam, Garudotsavam, and stood before Bhagavan, and Bhagavan opened his mouth. Bhakta, unaki enna vendumo kel. Unaki enna korikai irikkiradho kel. Bhagavan said. This person was shocked. He never knew that Bhagavan can open his mouth. He said, Swami, aathla kettu nundurre. So he went running to his house and he asked his wife, Bhagavan is asking now what we want. Bolo, kya chahiye? Nambalke enna venum sollu. Avar konjam purse vakatle indaru. So yes, what do you want? This wife said, last week, the small container where we used to keep the soap broke. Ask your Bhagavan to fix it. So this person went, Swami, aathla kekara, odanju udutha, adu konjam sheri padthi tharela nu kettar. Perumal thalla pottu. Karpaka vrikshattinidattil kaupiyam ketpado. Isn't there something higher that you can ask Bhagavan, and you're asking for soap container? To the one who gives you moksham, you're saying, give me visa to this country. Right? He gives you visa to Vaikuntham, and you're asking for a visa to that country. That is where we have brought down Bhagavan in the last 50 years. See, we have just downgraded our entire devotional system. So, now let me come back to the verse. Achalam archata kim vibudhais chalaihi. Achalam is the one that doesn't move. Right? We say ghatika chalam. Achalam means it doesn't move. See, when will you give the word it doesn't move? See, for example, you are going with a certain notion to a house. As you enter, you tell the other person, Ulla vava, ivar nallavar. That means what? You have a different opinion about the rest of them in the house. If someone says, this mountain doesn't move, then what does it mean? There are mountains which would have moved. That is why mountains used to move. And Indra had to chop the wings, right? Then people were worried. See, suddenly atop you an Himalaya is going. See, you're all sleeping. Yesterday when we saw that bridge, you remember we saw that bridge? Instead, imagine Mount Everest is going above us. We'll be worried whether we'll become chutney. So that is why, to remove that fear, the Acharya says, don't worry, this mountain doesn't move. Achalam. It will not move. That is why we say Venkatachalam, Ghatikachalam, Arunachalam, Achalam. So he says, Achalam archata kim vibudhais chalaihi. Now, worship this hill. Earlier Krishna has said what not to do. Now you have to tell what to do. Right? For example, your child is watching Squid Game season 2. In that, close to 99 people will die. You are looking at this and you tell, don't watch this. You are telling what not to watch. Then next question, so you tell me what I should do now. Correct? Will the child ask, you have told me what not to do. So earlier Krishna said, don't worship Indra. Now these people are confused. We have to worship something. See, in a village or in any organization, you have to engage your crowd. Today, engagement is the biggest challenge. Parents don't know how to engage their children. Beyond 30 seconds, they don't want to watch a reel. People say, you are giving lecture for 2.5 hours. My lecture is slightly less than Durandar. 2.5 hours I have to keep on. Their nice songs. Aandhi ban ke aaya hu main to कारवां की तलाश में. वो कारवां जो मिलता है उधर, आप में तो आप ही को देखना पड़ रहा है, सुनना पड़ रहा है. 2.5 hours I speak. So, some organizations, they'll say, we'll collapse, sir. You give us 30 seconds reel. For me, one shloka's first line will take 30 seconds. Amnaya gandharudita spurita daroshtam. 30 seconds over. Where will I give? Because now the younger generation is used to smaller timings. Beyond 30 seconds, they don't have retention span. In Natya Shastram, we have Hemaji. I've been associated with many dancers. I've worked with ma'am on a production called Ramanuja Darshanam in 2017. In dance, today we come up with some new formats. Earlier, even now, the Margam Paddhati has a concept called Varnam. There's one Varnam format in the dance. If you are already used to watching Natya Margams, you will understand. For the newcomer, Varnam, pray ore line. Swami nanundanadimai endru ulagamellam. Enna varum? Swami nanundanadimai endru ulagamellam. Ariyum tamadam seyyadu vandidu mador panga budesha namamrita paname undan jeevaname endru nambinene nadanamadum sevadi darishanam endru kidaikkumenave yeginene. Swami Swami Natara Jadeva Sachidananda Natara Jadeva. 40 times you have to repeat this line. Now attention span has become so low that a child today cannot concentrate. Why are they repeating the same line over and over and over? So today attention span has become very less. Now what do? This is where, here he says, worship that mountain. Worship. Now you have to tell what not to do. Tell what to do. Earlier he said, don't worship Indra. Now he says, worship the mountain. So he says, Achala marchata kim vibudhais chalaihi Shubhavanam Bhavanam cha divaukasam Kshamamanen vane Parirakshite na harina harinan api badhitum. Harina. Who is Harina? Harina. See, in the Tamil families, traditional families, in the yesterdays, the wives used to refer to their husbands as Yenna. Aathukarar per Hari. Harina. Not that Harina. First, we will tell what is not the meaning. We'll then go to the meaning. Harina is Indra. Remember this. Next he says, Harinam api. Now, when Krishna says, when you worship the mountain, you will get so much strength that even the deer doesn't have to fear Indra. Why? Because Harina is also deer. So he says in the meaning, Harinan Yena Napi. What is Yena? Yena is deer. Yeni Lochani Papa Vimochani. Have you heard of this line?
Yes.
Where, in which Kriti? Huh? Adile varla. Veena Bheri Venu Vadyadi Vinodini Modini Rakshamam, says Dikshitar. Yeni Lochani Papa Vimochani. Yeni Lochani, the one who has got eyes like a doe. Yenam. Yena is doe. So the deer doesn't have to fear Indra. Harina doesn't have to fear Harina, he says. So now they all have to get ready. How did they get ready? Here is where Dikshita, Krishna says, you will have to propitiate the mountain by offering different kinds of food, which are six types in taste. Now we have Arusuvai Unavu, right? Arusuvai Natarajan Mari. We got 6 tastes. Some will be pungent. See, for example, in the Ramayana, Sundarakandam, I told you, you're all experts in Sundarakandam. Meat was stored. When Hanuman went, meat was stored in different containers. It was stored with a salt called Suvarchalam. Suvarchalam is one salt which will be very pungent. Can you tell me what salt it is? Very good. Kala namak we say, right? That is what in which it was stored, says Valmiki. So some food varieties will have a pungent smell. If you take the urad dal, grind it and leave it for some time, it will give you a pungent smell. Certain vegetables will give you a pungent smell. Some will be bitter to taste, like bitter gourd. It will have a bitter taste. Some will be very spicy. Some has to have salt. Some will have sweet. Even bitter things will appear sweet in 2 cuisines, Gujarati and Karnataka. It will enhance the taste. So let us make food of these 6 varieties and carry it to the Govardhanam. So now these people knew not to worship Indra, to worship Govardhana. Why to worship Govardhana? Because it gives rise to waters. All Nada Nadi come from those mountains. Now, besides that, what does it give? It gives us grass. What is that grass used for? For the animals. Now, that will give us milk. So, our entire livelihood is based on these cows, which survives on the grass. So, we have to worship. Now, what should we do? We have to take it to the mountain. Now, how do we carry that food? In our bullock carts. How do we place that food? In Mama's Veshti. In most of these temples, I don't know if you have come across this, it's called Annakutotsavam. We come across this Annakutotsavam, they'll keep different varieties before Bhagavan and then they will offer it to people around. It's called Annakutotsavam. So now Annakutotsavam has to be done to Govardhana Parvatam. But now comes a big problem. Krishna said, the mountain is extremely impressed with you all. It will surely consume your food. How will the mountain? You remember in 1996, Ganesha drank milk. You remember? It started. The first thing to become viral, even before Kolaveridi, was Ganesha drinking milk. You remember 1996, every house we were keeping Playar Paal Kudikararam, Playar Paal. So then I remember I was barely 9 years. So I took some milk. My grandmother said, we will give you only this much milk, you make your Ganesha drink. So big tumbler, little milk. Then we had a landline facility, so we could dial. So I called up my friend and said, see, in my house he's not drinking. you are buying same Nandini, right? He said, yes, you are buying the same Nandini, but he said your container is a problem. He cannot put his trunk so deep. So offer it in a spoon. Now after offering it in the spoon also, Ganesha did not drink. I thought Ganesha is not acting in the interest of the Iyengars. So then what I did was, I slightly tilted that spoon. That milk slightly spilled. I said he drank. I was half a politician then. So now Krishna has said this mountain will consume food. But how will he make that mountain consume food? Right? If all the devatas start eating away the prasadam, we will never offer prasadam. ரொம்ப சாப்பிட்றாருண்ணா இவர் சாப்பிட மாட்டேன்னு நினச்சி தானே கொடுத்தோம், எதுக்கு சாப்பிட்றாரு இவர்? So now we will see how Krishna manages this tomorrow.